Yeah, I think he did the right thing, right? And the arguments that were made during the committee hearings that I participated in, it didn't support the arguments of the supporting side in terms of quote unquote wanting to protect the kind of the physical integrity of those students and youth that are participating in those sports. There were no incidents, probably one incident that was ever reported to our high school sports association. And the fact that we had legislation contradicts that there were already policies in place through this administration to address these issues. So that was another piece of legislation. I felt that it took up a lot of time, that we could have been addressing some real issues of communities and individuals that still dealing with the pandemic, and we're trying to recover from that was for the last 2 years or so. So that's one of those issues. And of course, we know that he signed the legislation dealing with the guns and not having a permit. So those are some examples of some of those cultural issues. And I can't forget about 1134, which was a piece of legislation that attempted to prevent certain topics such as Black history being taught in schools, and we were able to defeat that.
How were you able to defeat that?
Well, I think a couple of things. There were two versions of the bill. You had Senate Bill 167 that originated in the Senate that we were able to kill in committee because of the overwhelming pushback from the public, and because myself and caucus members were able to ask very specific questions in regards to the purpose of quote unquote teaching divisive, and that's the term that was used, divisive concepts. And the authors that brought these bills forward, I believe they were tripped up. They weren't able to articulate the reasoning or the rationale why we should have it. And that bill in the Senate didn't move forward. The one that passed the House when it came over, I'm not sure if you heard, I offered an amendment that would require the teaching of Black history in Indiana schools. And I believe that my colleagues across the aisle didn't want to support a bill on the floor that I was going to attempt to amend that in. So there was a lot of factors of why that didn't move forward, but I believe the public pushing back, teachers pushing back, parents pushing back, and students pushing back in terms of why it wasn't needed.
Rise and shine.
All right.
WJOB's Jim Deedlow starts your weekdays at 6 a.m. Jed in the region, and be sure to follow us on Facebook. WJOB, AM 1230 and 104.7 FM.